on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. Nadaska Academics and Wayne over here.
What's wrong with you? I was just telling Nadaska, since you just want to start all cold, dry, and awkward, I was telling her that I finally found the nice parts of Brooklyn. Because parts of Brooklyn I used to go to before was graffiti, roaches, rats, you know what I mean, hood niggas.
Academics missed the entire gentrification process. It's like you talk like he's a tourist.
I found the parts that Jay-Z gentrified. It's great. I like it.
He didn't gentrify Dumbo. If you listen to 444, he said that he missed that opportunity, actually.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
You don't know shit about Brooklyn.
Ready to sell us out again.
Wayno, how you doing? Wayno's not feeling the vibes today. That's what he's on. Any kind of vibes.
I'm tired of the word vibes. I'm tired.
Nigga, the Rollie ain't shining enough today, Brad. What's going on?
Talking about it. The Rollie's always shining.
Yo, what's wrong with Wayno today? The vibes ain't here? What's going on?
I'm tired of this word vibes.
Somebody slowing up the check? What's going on?
The checks ain't slowing up. I'm just telling you that I'm tired of the word vibes. It's vibes for every fucking thing. Niggas be drinking water vibes. Early morning water vibes.
Water vibes.
Hot cocoa vibes. I'm just tired of vibes.
The next thing to get played out is energy. You walking everywhere, niggas is just, like, there's energy, like, people just summing up the energy. Like, yeah, some of these words gotta go.
I guess, man.
Right,
just get rid of vibes. Put a knife in his back.
Vibes today. Every spelling of vibes that you guys
Only
got.
vibes I like is cartel.
All right, Dak. All right, so it's been, you guys said actually they released a full, sorry, I just dropped his mic.
Yo, y'all good today, bro?
I'm focused,
you good?
man.
You slipping.
I'm straight.
I'm sorry.
Tweaking.
We've been talking a lot about this Jay-Z NFL partnership. A lot of people feel certain ways about it. But on Monday, Diddy actually stepped forward to defend Hove. He said he still supports Kaepernick, but he urged fans not to go against Jay. Quote, Hove is one of the greatest to ever do it. He's been there more than anybody from the hip-hop culture, including me. He always has been so selfless and fights for other people. We as a people cannot be divided and conquered at this time. And specifically, he addressed people questioning Jay's credibility as a black leader, saying, it hurt me to my heart because I know this man personally. He's one of the most genuine and intelligent black leaders we've ever had. We cannot go against each other. I applaud Jay, and I applaud the NFL for bringing him in. Do you guys think it's a big statement coming from Diddy?
Yeah, but don't nobody care.
Okay.
No, I'm just keeping it 100. Like, don't nobody care. Like, because the thing is like, all right, if you say, yo, you know, let's see what Jay does, or just give it some time, then you dick riding. Everybody just looking at the surface level or looking at the headline and saying, well, this is how I feel. They don't know the details of the deal. Then it's like, oh, he's only doing this shit for music. It's like, nobody don't care about what Diddy's saying about that. I mean, it's a nice gesture.
Yeah.
And it was cool that he said that to defend his man, and they've been in the game together for a long time, but that's not going to change the narrative of any of the people that's on social media complaining about this shit.
I really looked at this as a really selfless, you know, statement by Diddy. Because again, you know, I'm going back to the genesis of this whole little deal of what we thought it was, and supposedly was, to catapult Hove past everybody in line to eventually become a majority minority, if that makes sense, a large minority owner of an NFL team. Now, someone who in the black community that expressed owning a team years ago was Diddy, and Diddy was not only trying to, I think at first he was trying to look into either other leagues, then he was also looking into, I'm gonna just get a team, and it was even like openly saying, yo, if any of y'all want to get down with it, you know,
build a group, right?
Let's do it. So, you know, to then see, you know, I think when it came to the NFL and the whole Kaepernick thing, like most, he rocked with Kaepernick, but he wasn't all the way jumping out on either side. Right. So I think he kind of fell back on that to see Jay's move that would have essentially catapulted Jay in front of him. And, you know, there's just a line. And whether you want to think of it as really literally or just metaphorically, there's a order of people who would be next up to own a team. And this play would have made Jay almost cross the picket fence in that sense, but also like put him at that point further than Diddy, who expressed interest. So I thought Diddy kind of probably saw the bigger picture, and what that bigger picture is. I think Diddy probably thinks ownership and, you know, getting in there to change shit, because you got to realize with Diddy, he's someone who, while having some frustrations with how other networks, TV networks ran shit, he got his own shit. So maybe that's how he's looking at it.
You know what's crazy? Like, nobody ever said that, even Jay included, right? He never said that he was doing this to own a team, right? Like, that was just like came out, and then people said, well, that was never true, that he was trying to own a team. Right. So I just don't understand, like, why. like what people are not. I understand why people are mad because they're just reading, little parts and nobody knows the details. But nobody never said nothing about owning a team other than media. Like,
yeah, I think TMZ leaked that. But I think though, in trying to justify why that would be done,
yeah,
like that's the only thing we could think of because, the deal got announced. You're gonna help plan the Super Bowls and events like that, but then you're gonna help with social justice initiatives. And I think we all looked at like, Jay, you're a billionaire. Jay, like you have the culture. Diddy, you're a billionaire. You guys don't need the NFL. You famously rap. I don't need you. You need me. So why would you partner with them unless they fix the current problems or they're choosing to directly address it? And it felt like they weren't going to address current problems, but only just partner to pacify.
Well, the thing about it is, like, you can't change a direct problem in a day at a press conference, right? So it's like, if you, and that's why I like what Diddy said, is like, in order for him to possibly make a change, yeah, they did need him, that's why they came to him. You would have to make a change from within. But it's like, everybody thought that, all right, Jay-Z's with the NFL, tomorrow Kaepernick gets a job, everybody that's black could perform at a fucking Super Bowl. Right. We can get everybody jobs. It doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? So I think it's just too premature for a lot of people. Like, they just expect change so fast,
Yeah, I wish just the NFL was just out of this conversation about social justice because it's switching gears on why we should have a problem, Yeah, fine, if people don't want to mess with the NFL. And I do think, like, to be honest, it shouldn't be, us black people, we aren't a monolith anyway. So if one person wants to do a deal, it shouldn't be necessarily seen as selling out. The only reason why I can understand why people said about Jay is that he openly spoke out about it. Right. And he spoke against it. But to be honest, it shouldn't be like, in most situations, and I heard Thug say it about Gucci, he said, I'm gonna be honest, like, I didn't look at it like that, and I understand why people did look at it like that, but I personally didn't look at it like that, and I'm a fashionable guy, so I wasn't wearing it to throw it in the face of everybody else who were black that supported it, but my reasons for wearing it was different. So, like, we all don't gotta think alike, and fuck it, we're not buying or we're not watching, but so I'm not mad at Jay for doing a deal. I think it's this hypocrisy that bleeds in, plus a couple other things.
Guess what? Niggas is back rocking Gucci again. Like it never left. Like it never left.
We knew that was gonna happen.
He sent 5 pairs to my house, free. I'm like, I wish.
Yeah, it's just amazing how, like, earning a lifetime of credibility doesn't matter at all. Like, no one gives you, like, a chance to, like, get the details. This shit is, like, really, really disheartening, to be honest.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And then that's what I'm saying, that if you say, oh, no, then it's like, oh, you riding his dick. Oh,
yeah, I've gotten a lot of those messages. I don't give a fuck.
Listen, man, everybody gonna be cool with this once Beyonce drops Lemonade Part 2.
I'm just saying, give them a chance. But we have a fan question. This question is for Wayno, and hopefully I can respond to this too. I'm only 18 years old, so I haven't been around to see the rise of Jay to superstardom. But has there ever been a point in Jay's career that he's received a lot of backlash, similar to the NFL deal? If so, what was the problem?
Absolutely, when Rockefeller broke up. Like, that's the only thing I can really think of. When Rockefeller broke up, everybody looked at it as Jay did Dame and Big so dirty, and how, like, he was just this awful person and this awful guy. And then, I mean, with time, he said that, like, he handled the situation a certain way that could have been handled differently, but it just wasn't meant to keep going. It just wasn't meant to keep going, but he faced a lot of backlash for that. The thing was, social media wasn't as big, so you couldn't hear everybody's thought about it. Right. Niggas was writing, like, whole magazines and distributing on how they felt. Every time somebody tweets, like, a whole 240 characters, it's an article, and some of them go viral and people pick it up as news. So it's definitely been backlash, but it wasn't to this degree. I say publicly.
Okay. So, of course, like, artists are also split on this. We've heard someone like Freddie Gibbs definitely come out and support Hov. And it's going to be interesting to see if he's curating, like, the Super Bowl lineup, what artists will or will not perform. So Chance has obviously been doing the press rounds here in New York. At the Breakfast Club, they asked him if he would perform at the Super Bowl. Here's what he had to say.
He actually wasn't on the internet. He actually mentioned your name so much that he said, I'm saying Chance's name a lot. But would you perform at the halftime show if he asked you?
Sheesh, that's a crazy question. I wouldn't, and it's not no knock to anybody. I just think I think a word that a lot of people are using is actionable items. I don't think the Super Bowl is my actionable item. I think there's certain things that I would like to see get changed, and I work on them. And there's a lot of people that help me. Shout out to Jay-Z, who's helped me a lot since day one. But there's things that I got to do personally that I think will affect change and empower other people to affect change that would be outside of the Super Bowl.
It's interesting. You make some good points, but I mean, do you have a thought?
Nah, I mean, I'm not knocking him. Chance does a lot of, like, he does tons of work in Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's on the ground, very prevalent in his city and his
But
community.
doubtful that Jay would have a problem getting artists to sign on,
Yeah,
right?
come
Like,
on.
I don't think it's gonna be an
We're
issue.
not answering that, like, come on, yeah. I mean, I don't think Chance, like, if Chance saying he wouldn't do it, he has his reasons for really not doing it. But, like, you know how many people going to jump at the phone call of that to perform on that type of platform?
Yeah.
Try.
Chance just highlighted why that press conference was a whole fail. Because when Jay was moonwalking from the questions about, okay, so what about the kneeling? He's like, yo, we're past kneeling. You know, we got to start doing, we need these actionable items. Basically, he's saying, you gave us no fucking details, and I'm alluding to, or assuming that's what he's alluding to, Chance, because the only thing we know directly about the deal, Jay will definitely be producing the Super Bowl.
Okay.
We don't know what the social justice initiatives are.
Right.
So he's like, so the only actionable item that you're presenting and you had a whole press conference about is a fucking concert. You get me? So because of that, yeah, that's not an actionable item. Of course, for him, he's been so involved in the inner city of Chicago, he knows what actionable items are. Now, maybe that's part of the deal that's to come, but there was absolutely no details, no plan laid out.
But
it was literally just an announcement and saying this guy's going to be the director of.
But it wasn't about that. That's the thing that's also confusing. The people turned it into more of a social injustice conversation as opposed to what we seen the deal was actually about, which the deal was actually about supposed to be, music initiatives, which that's what I'm guessing what they brought people in the room for. But it turned into a social injustice conversation. Now,
Because they added that in the sort of, I didn't watch the whole press conference, but they mentioned that that's supposed to be part of the deal.
That's part of it, right? But that's what I'm saying. The whole thing got turned into that. We're not having no conversations about music no more. The whole thing got turned into that.
But I think that's something they should have anticipated, unfortunately.
Absolutely. I think the thing was when he said, I'm not trying to minimize that, but he said protesting, right? Okay, you protest, and then what happens after, right? And I don't think that they had enough time to address everything. And the press conference was edited down to like 46 minutes, but they probably did for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, right? So I don't think that like in day one, we're gonna get every full detail of what's going on, but it's just the judgment that's passed off of just having the conversation was just shocking to me.
Yeah, I'm surprised that with the awareness of the feedback from that press conference, the NFL hasn't came out and outlined really how they're gonna deal with the social justice arm of this deal or whatever. Because again, I'm with Chance on this. Like, bro, not because you now fuck with the NFL, you told us all not to. Now you fuck with him, now we should all get on. No, show us, we're believing you. You're right, he has cultural cachet. He has that capital. And because of that, we now want you to show us what are these actionable items, because you're right, like, yeah, if we're only gonna stop at kneeling, after a while it's like, okay, bro, are y'all gonna move past this? But I think Chance is just saying he didn't see it other than the performance, and perhaps if he did see it, he would perform. But right now, he's only limited and just viewing it in terms of performing at a concert. And I think he didn't say it directly, but I think he feels a certain type of way about how the NFL either treated Kaepernick or just treat people who protest.
All right, what 6 months-ish till the Super Bowl? It's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, like February.
I never really cared that much, but
I mean, hopefully we get more stuff about what's gonna happen before the NFL season starts.
Put it like this: who the fuck on Rock Nation not gonna perform with Jay? That's your boss. Like, you know what I mean? Vic Mensa gonna be wearing a goddamn dress or a skirt on that bitch.
couldn't help yourself, huh?
Gotta help yourself.
Okay. So elsewhere in the conversation, label situations came up, and Chance gave some advice to new artists. So he hasn't really changed his mind about signing big deals. Check it out.
I would say to anybody out there that's an independent artist, my number one pieces of advice: don't sign a record deal. Don't sign a distribution deal. Don't sign a publishing deal. Don't sign a management deal. Hire the people that you need to work with you. Pick out your goals and go get them done. And you could get them done, and it'll work, and you'll connect with your fan base, and you'll make money. And your rise will be as fast or as slow as you want it to be, but you'll be in a great.
VP Wayno?
You see, and I'm gonna take myself out of being a VP because that has nothing to do with it.
What? Why? You have...
Wait, don't sign niggas.
No,
He's telling
well,
niggas
not even that.
It's not
Manager,
even that.
just, I mean, your experience.
No, my
dealing with
problem
artists
with
like this.
problem with that is go hire the people that you want to work with, right? Where the fuck are you supposed to get the money for that? Right? So where you supposed to get the money for that? In order to get the money for that, you have to get into some sort of situation with somebody. Anybody that's putting up money wants their ROI, return on investment. So if you go to somebody and you say, I'm this dope ass artist, see what Trance is saying is, don't sign a record deal, don't die that, don't do this, don't do that. But if you need capital to do all of these things, you have to go get it from somebody. When you go get this money from somebody, they're gonna want some sort of paperwork as to how they're gonna get their money back. You might not sign a record deal, but you sign some sort of deal. So let's not get it fucked up. Every time I see this now, that's easy for, I'm not gonna say that's easy for him to say because I don't think his rise was easy. But it's not as simple as it sounds. In order to earn having a staff of people around you, you have to put in work and you have to make money. And everybody's not privy to having all these different people who have money. So it's a lot of kids that don't have these resources. Now, I think that you shouldn't sign bad record deals or bad management deals, but you can't just say, oh, don't do this and just do it that way. That works for him. That shit don't work for everybody else.
So like a pretty new artist, if you have like good momentum already, good fan base, is there some flexibility in production deals and distribution deals?
Yeah, I mean, if I was an artist and I was if I figured out how to perform every night in front of 500 people, let's say, right? Instead of going to get a record deal, I'd go work with an agency. Like I'd work with an agency and have an agency build me up because they have tons of resources that labels don't really use. So most artists that are signed to labels still work with agencies. I will go with an agency. But to say to not do anything and just, no, go do it. Like, all right, where do I get how do I get these resources? Right. It's kids that's coming from the hood that even if they have this type of knowledge, they not in situations where they could just get shit like that. You know, so that works for him, but it don't work for everybody else the same.
Okay.
Chance on his Dame Dash shit. It sounded a lot like Dame Dash when Dame Dash was saying, yo, don't get a job. Just invest in yourself. Just flip. And the quintessential question became, what the fuck you getting the money to flip at?
Or what are you flipping?
You get me? Or just like, okay, so where do you get this disposable income that you could possibly invest in something where you could possibly lose it or not make money at all? And that question was never answered because his story was, at least Dame, I was hustling the streets, so I had money. But for the regular kid who's 16,
right,
who, got a mic and is finding beats off YouTube and rapping, yeah, you have nothing. So again, you need money to properly promote yourself. You need money to get studio time. There's a lot. What people don't realize, it might not be $1 million, but you need at least a couple, sometimes over $10,000 to like fund a startup career. And whether it may not be signed with Atlantic, but it might be signed with a local person in your hood that's going to give you 10 grand and they're going to put you in, that's some type of deal. Like, he went as far also to say not have a management deal and not having a distribution deal, which, I understand what he's kind of alluding to, but he also has the way how he thinks about shit is that he actually hires people. Like,
you gotta have money to hire people.
I know, but not all artists are that self-sufficient.
Right.
Like, he's acting like all artists could control everything, hire the right people. He's been lucky to have some really good people. Like, I saw his manager speak. His manager seems like a fucking brainiac. Most other artists, like, their managers, at least starting out,
it's the homie.
It's a homie. They're gonna make sure studio book. They're gonna make sure they get the record that they hit the producer. Like, they do the simple shit. His manager's making big ass plays for him. You get me? Like, put him in positions that you never see any other independent artist at. One thing I've never liked about Chance is that while touting the fact that he is independent, he almost makes it seem like he's shaming people or he's making it seem like it's so easy to get to the position he's at. And it's not.
It's not.
It's not. You're not getting the positions, the opportunities. Apple's not giving you $500,000 for exclusive windows to release.
That's a deal, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's a deal. My fault to cut you off, but if you're getting money from Apple, that's some sort of deal. Nobody's giving you $500,000 to sell your music because they fucking like you. They doing that because you're gonna make some money back. So you're in some sort of deal. Whether it's a record deal or not, you're breaking bread with somebody.
Yeah,
now,
that's a distro deal.
Even with management, no, I'm not the big, and me being a manager, I'm not the biggest fan of just one person doing management. I believe in a management team, a management like conglomerate of a few people that work on the business of doing management. But you can't. So what's the hope for a kid who aspires to be a fucking manager? It's like even when you get a job. So you're saying all this about music, but signing on to get a job is a fucking deal. Life is a deal, like, essentially. I just wish you would stop saying this. Like, people who think independent, they think, oh, it's just a pot of money and it's just 4 or 5 people. No, you got a whole fucking 15, 20 people working for you. His pops is some big guy in politics, is he not? His mom's is somebody, you know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure he has tons of resources where he uses that to his advantage. And he's not doing anything wrong. I'm just saying, like, stop making it seem like it's just one way and you can only do it one way.
You know, if his comments didn't come off as a little bit condescending, just overall, and not to, like, honestly, when I hear Coloring Book, and he called out a bunch of labels, what song was it? I can't remember the name of the song, but he called out a bunch of labels. And, you know, his stance has always been, like, being independent means so much more because he owns everything that's in third. I could understand if he's taking a stand and say, yo, listen, if you're a kid and you start getting a little buzz and then you go sign away all your rights to Atlantic, Interscope, or whoever, and pretty much they own your shit, you don't own your masters. I've seen him really speak and give education to younger artists about what your publishing is, what your masters is. And I thought that was very useful advice. And trying to educate people by saying, hey, listen, you should probably make decisions depending on where you are that would benefit you the most, which doesn't always mean signing to a big major label for a 360 deal. 100%, I'm with him on that. Because I don't think, you know, for a kid who's coming out of a really impoverished situation that gets a hit, they're thinking about that, they're thinking about the bag. Right. You get me? Like, I've seen people who start talking that shit and then they get offered like $4 or $5 million. That goes out the window. Yeah. And for him, I think he's saying you should stand on principle on certain things. I think he's just shaming everything though.
Go ahead, my fault, go ahead.
Like, you could sign if you have, like, you've built up kind of a brand, you're putting out music, and you're trying to take it to a next level, and you get approached by someone, and it's just a distro deal. Like, if it works for you at that time, for 1 or 2 albums, you should take it. Like, you can't put a blanket statement out like, don't do it, when you yourself has done it. That's the Apple deal. So, like, you know, each deal is very, or for artists like, this is shade coming. For artists like Vic Mensa, ain't nobody booking that nigga. Of course Rock Nation helping him out. That's a management deal. And also his record label, but still. Sometimes you have to sign a deal to get what you need at that time. It's very unique to every artist. There's no blanket statement because you have made it without those deals, supposedly, even though there's clear hypocrisy. That's how you did.
I just want, where's and Taylor Bennett, who's released dope music as well this year. I want to know how his music is distributed. Is it distributed the same exact way as his brother?
I'm not sure.
I would like to know that.
Okay, we could look it up.
All
right. That was a long one. Hope you guys learned something. Not one size fits all.
Right.
Get a good lawyer. That's always really important. Just don't sign something out of excitement. So yes.
The other part, he said, don't fuck with lawyers either.
All right, I don't know about.
Just come fuck with me. I'm gonna teach you everything.
All right, so yesterday we might have looked a little bit crazy. We wanted some more time to spend with this Rapsody album, and I kept forgetting to mention that we would get to it today. So here we are. Last week, Rapsody released her 3rd album, Eve. So she was up here recently, and like she said, every song pays tribute to a legendary black woman, people like Nina Simone, Oprah, Aaliyah, Whoopi Goldberg, and more. Some cool features on here as well. JID, of course, Queen Latifah, which is super dope. Sir is on here. So now we've had a few days. What do you guys think of this project?
Yo, first off, I think that is one of the best rap albums this year. One of the better albums, period. And Rapsody, when she takes time off, when she comes back, she gives so much. Like this album, she gives so much on this fucking album. You know, like, she put a lot of time into this music. You can tell by the production, from the intro to the last song, which is my favorite song on here is Afeni. But even with the joint with her, Sojourner, with her and J. Cole, like I ain't gonna front. J. Cole, like Ib, his manager, was saying like how Cole is having like the best year out of any artist or whatever, and he's right, but Rapsody gave him a hell of a fucking verse to deal with, because his verse was insane on that song, and then she came with some shit, and I just feel like she's holding herself down to another level, to another degree. She said, I do not want to just be considered a female rapper. I am an MC, and I think she embodies that shit. This is one of the best rap albums, if not the best rap album of 2019. Absolutely. I love this album.
It's a great album.
I'm gonna echo those sentiments. I was really thinking, you know, the way how I rank albums may be different from other people, because I have the albums that are just dope musically, and then the albums which are just, you know, like for example, this album, it's just filled with lyrical excellence. Like this, I think it's called Nina. The intro is probably the best intro of the year.
Blood on the Leaves flip.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Strange Fruit.
Yeah. I can't remember any other intro this year that I felt was this memorable. All throughout, I really enjoyed the whole project. Afeni was like one of my favorite. You put Pac
on there, right?
Yeah.
You know, I love it. Yeah, the joint, is it Sojourner with Cole?
Right.
I fuck with that too.
I like Cleo a lot too.
Yeah.
She's talking a lot about the shit she's been through in the industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to be honest, this was a really
Serena.
solid project.
Yeah.
And actually, when you listen to a project like this, you know, with the production, but the depth, the subject matter, how she actually builds out on certain concepts and shit like that, you understand why she's not dropping a project every 6 months.
Right.
It's blatantly clear.
Right.
Right? But I did want to ask, how'd you feel about if she dissed you, yo? She dissed you.
You think it was a diss?
Yo, she said, I ain't in the middle like the desk. I'm like,
I mean,
oh,
sure.
that's a diss.
That was not a diss.
Shorty in the middle strikes again.
Yo.
It was
that,
it was a metaphor. She said, I ain't playing the. So that song, Afeni, what I like, because you know.
Over a Pac sample, I'm lit.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the record.
And I gotta give it up to
She
Ninth
gave some
Wonder.
bars when she came in.
Listen, I gotta give it up to Ninth Wonder on that, because I can't remember the original sample, but me knowing that sample, Irv Gotti used it for Mike Geronimo's, I think it was Master IC, right? And that record, she's checking black men on how they treat black women, yo. That song is so fucking important. Like, I think that song is so important, not on no joking level, because that's a conversation that needs to be had that not enough people had about black men's sentiment for black women and how they treat them and how you want your daughter to be treated. And I think she's raising a lot of ill-ass conversations with that song. And just this whole album.
The whole thing, even the interlude is amazing.
Yeah.
You guys gotta listen. At no point does it feel like too long. Like she just had extra songs on there just
Yo,
for,
between her and my man YB and Corday, like it's just rap is in such a great place, and still, like, I still can appreciate Thugger's album, because I love Thug's album just as much as I love this album.
Yeah.
Like, we in a great place with music right now. Great place.
This one
I
came
love
right
this
on
album.
time. Congrats to Rhapsody. Amazing album. Thank you for the shout out.
What she
Appreciate it.
projected to do, act. You know, act.
She doesn't care. She says on the album. Let's not worry about the sales. Don't
gotta
even do
care.
it.
I'm gonna care.
Don't even do it.
I don't care either, but I think that this album is like, I wouldn't say a slow burn, but it's just something that people gonna be like, did you hear? Like how Layla's Wisdom was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not looking for big first week sales from Rhapsody. I'm looking for people to share the conversation and for her to do her numbers that way.
By the way, like, you know, like for certain albums, you got to come back and do like the 3-month checkup, because that's when, you know, the album's starting to live, and you realize that even if they don't do big first weeks, they're consistent. Like, I could tell you, Corday's album's like over 100,000 already, and he did like 20-something first week. You would imagine it would take really like maybe 4, 5, 6 months for it to get to 100,000, because that's 5 times what he sold first week. Instead, it's remained steadily. People still consuming it. So, you know, like, it might not be, for some projects, you just got to come back around and check it. Even though this week it's all about Taylor Swift. She's like killing it.
Oh, let me correct myself before everybody who's hip-hop purists check me, right? So I said Master IC, I meant Shit's Real by Mike Geronimo.
Okay.
Because you know that's going to be in my mentions. Oh, this nigga ain't really listening to music for real.
You ain't hip-hop, bro?
Yeah. Nah, but that was one of my favorite songs growing up. So, but I confused the two. So I had to check myself before everybody else got to it. For real.
All right, wait on.
The samples on here
We're
are
Flex
amazing.
Black, right?
Yeah. I think everyone's gonna think she sampled Kanye, but it's Nina Simone.
Yeah, Nina
That's why it's called Nina. All right. We got a few songs to go through now. Brick, Hit, or Wait on It. Let's start with Missy Elliott. She's got a single out called Throw It Back. This is the lead single off her new EP, which dropped last week, called Iconology. Wait, no.
I will say wait on it, but I love the video. I think that the video complements the song more than the song complements the video. But I think wait on it. I wouldn't call it a brick. I say wait on it. It's definitely something that you can appreciate from Missy after all these years. She still can be herself, you know. So I say wait on it.
Brick. I don't like it at all. I didn't see the video though. I probably should watch the video.
Act doesn't watch any videos at all.
Yeah, I don't watch the video.
He's right.
But just hearing the song, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. And it's conflicting to me because I love Missy. I love Missy. But this particular song I didn't like.
Okay.
All right, we got new Vince Staples, though. So this is his first single since he signed his new deal with Motown. It's called So What. Dropped it with his new YouTube video as well. What'd you guys think?
Academics.
I'm gonna say wait on it. It's a decent record, but like this is what I would expect from Vince.
Right.
Like he's about to go into another cycle. It's kind of along the lines of like it's hard to say with Vince like hit, even though he's had some records that's really like translated and done a lot. But for his records, sometimes you gotta they kind of operate with a slow build. So I'm gonna say wait on it.
I will say wait on it as well. I say wait on it as well. And like the video, it's not like a music video. It's like a short. I wouldn't say a short film. It's like a short show.
Yeah.
I mean, like a long ass commercial for I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's really dope. Like Vince, I'm happy that he's out of his Def Jam situation because it seems like over there at Motown he's having more creative control.
Oh,
as
yeah,
to how to
Def Jam?
do his shit. Yeah, he's out
Oh
of Def Jam.
man.
Yeah, so
Congrats to him, man. Def Jam is shambles.
shouts out to Vince Staples. Wait on it for this though.
Even Chops came back. You know this. No, they're shambles. Come on now. Come on.
All right, should we just do one more? You guys want to pick the song? Let's see.
Let's do Through the Night.
All right, so we have Through the Night. Jack Harlow featuring Bryson Tiller. Samples Usher on this. You don't have to call. Brick, Hit, or Wait on It?
I'll say wait on it. I think that it'll be a hit, but I'll say wait on it because, of course, like Jack Harlow is from Kentucky. Bryson Tiller is from Kentucky. I think to experience this song, you're going to have to be in that type of market in the Midwest to really appreciate it. So I say wait on it, but it's a really, really dope song.
Okay.
I don't get the vibe of the song at all. Like maybe because like I expected something different from Bryson with his contribution to the song. I'm gonna say Brick. Like the sample was mad overpowering, but I just didn't see like they didn't own the song more than the sample on the song. So was it Brick?
Interesting take, Academics. Interesting take.
All right, let's see. How much time do we have left? Should we do Big Facts or BS? This one would be from Boss. This would be his second time in Big Facts or BS. He might have been our first one, right, with the Uber thing?
Yeah.
He was tweeting on.
He said
Twitter fingers.
that Pop Smoke record is a worldwide bat signal for New York dudes right now. We form like Voltron as that shit comes on.
Big facts. Welcome to the motherfucking party. Pop Smoke. Yeah, I say big facts. Like that's definitely the joint that where if they play that shit anywhere else, you're gonna see the New York niggas come out. Like, you gonna see them come out. So I say big facts.
Yeah, that record is like there's always those calling calls, which is like Bobby Shmurda, Hot Nigga, Computers by Rowdy Rebel, which still goes off. I think this record is one of those that brings that type of feeling.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, let's get through some quick hits. The VMAs happened last night. I don't know how much you care about this. Let's go to the next one, please. But Missy was honored with the Vanguard Award, which is really dope. So congratulations to her.
Missy.
You're a legend.
Well deserved, well deserved.
Yes, we love you, Missy.
So back in May, Kodak was facing some federal gun charges, and he has pled guilty, according to CBS in Miami. So he had originally entered a not guilty plea on May 15th, but of course he ended up changing that. Sentencing reportedly happening November 13th, and he could face up to 8 years in prison if found guilty.
That's so unfortunate. I think Kodak is such a waste of talent, for real. Because he spent more time in prison than he has outside since I found out about him like 3 years ago. You know, super talented dude, moves the needle every time he drops something, but can't stay out of trouble. So.
Yeah.
If he's fortunate, he'll get out maybe in 6 months with time served, and only do a year. Unfortunately for him, he's faced all his other charges in jail time is like state. This is feds. And if they're saying you're facing 8 years, he probably realized, let me plead guilty. Hopefully they give me 1 or 2. I'm hoping that's the max he gets because sometimes the feds, they might, you know? Again, and also what he was locked up for, like they were accusing him of some stuff where like there was kids in the vicinity. They might take that really serious. But it's really sad to see, you know, like even at this level of his career, some of the shit that you still hear like he's involved in. Really sad. So
Yo, he's only like 21 or 22 years old, right?
Yeah.
He's mad young. Like, this nigga's mad young.
What was disappointing the most about this is 2 things really. Is like when he was putting out his last project, which a lot of people loved, he was making a point. He was like, yo, I ain't gonna shoot videos behind the jail cell because I ain't trying to be back there. And he ended up back there a couple months later. And then also like, you know, even behind bars where, you know, he has some communication with people, he's still beefing. You know what I mean? Like, again, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, you don't know.
Right.
All right, so Act's been waiting for this Uzi album for a long time. It's probably not coming this year, but he's he's busy doing other things though. So last week, a fan pulled up on him asking if you would maybe help him pay his tuition, and Uzi sounded like he was down. Check it out.
Can you pay for my college tuition?
How much is your college tuition?
90 grand, I go to Temple, bro.
90 grand? I could pay for that.
I know you can.
But this is the thing though, if I pay for your college tuition, are you going to finish college? Or are you
Of
gonna
course.
bullshit?
Nah, 100%. I don't bullshit. I'll finish
What's
that.
your name on Instagram?
Big ass heel.
Big ass heel.
Big ass heel.
Make sure you show me all of your transcripts, everything. Show me all of your papers and everything, and you can get 90,000 from me.
All right, bro. Fuck. All right.
If you don't show me, you won't get 90.
Nah, I got
from me.
you,
But
bro.
If you show me, if it's
I'll
in
show
college,
you.
I got
You come to
gotta
Temple
show me
sometime
proof.
too, bro.
You gotta show me proof.
All right, love you, bro. Take it easy.
This is a pretty generous offer. I wonder if that kid actually sent him the transcripts and what the standards were. Like, is a B+ acceptable? Like across the board, does it have to be all A's?
I think that kid was trolling.
Yeah.
I think that kid was
I think he trolling too.
Like, listen, you run up on somebody with a camera like that, I feel like a sincere ask isn't the one you're filming, and you know, I think he wanted a reaction out of him.
Yeah.
And when he says, "How much is your tuition?" And by the way, like, I don't know if this nigga think niggas are stupid. It don't cost 90 grand to go to. He said Temple.
Yeah, it don't cost 90 grand. It don't cost 90,000.
But how much
Okay.
per year was he talking about? The entire?
Well, if homie gets like almost no state help, it's like 40 to 50
Per year.
But it's still, I believe, it might be a state university. I could be wrong on that for Pennsylvania, but yeah, it's not 90 grand. I
No,
think
to
he
go
just
to an
said
Ivy
it.
League is like
get me?
70.
Yeah,
something
like, and even then, if you're from certain backgrounds, like you could qualify for assistance or go
Right.
there free.
Right.
So I think he just kind of said that, or maybe that nigga is just trying to get him to pay his loans. Which again, if he could finesse that, congrats to him. Uzi made it very clear though, because he ain't want on it. You know, online,
Yeah.
this shit live forever. You don't want this kid later expose you. Yo, this bitch nigga saw me in the mall, say he would pay, he never paid. Now Uzi said, if you show me your transcripts,
Yo, he handled that shit really
he
well.
said mad if.
Yeah.
If this, if that, if this, I am willing. Not I would. I am willing. So listen, if that kid ever try to get slick, or you know what I mean, if he wasn't telling the truth, Uzi's covered.
Did you see Uzi's tweet or something? His story that he said, "I'm trying to buy the world because I'm so sad inside" or some shit.
What?
Yeah.
I think he chose a lot, but I do believe that. Look, like
Go back home, Uzi.
he owns like 8 to 9 like supercars, and of course he's one
All the
person.
same color, but he ain't like
Yeah,
bad
you can't
day.
drive all of them. He has all his homies drive all of his cars to like, I seen him in a line, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what's going on with him, but it looks like he's in. Looks like he's in a race to spend that money. I got college loans still, Uzi. Okay, I'll show you the transcripts.
Act with the astute pocket watching, as he calls it.
Pocket
Ain't no
watch.
pocket watching. I'm trying to get my pocket cleansed. Pause.
Why do you still have student loans?
What?
I'm broke.
He bought-
All right, let's end with this.
I gotta. Yeah.
Let's end with the no jumper clip, if that's cool. So remember last week, Dame Dash did the interview with Adam 22, where he was sharing his feelings on Jay and this new NFL deal. Jesus. Then Adam was on live stream. Here's apparently how that interview came together.
I paid Dame Dash for this interview. Now, it wasn't much. It was $500, but I paid $500. It was weird because my publicist is going back and forth with his Connect, whatever it is, And the publicist or the Connect is like, yeah, you know, is this a paid interview? And my publicist asked me, she's like, what am I supposed to say when people ask that? And I said, say no, say it's not paid. And so she said that, and then they come back to her and they say, we're gonna need $500 for his haircut and his driver. That was what they specified. Now, we thought this was pretty hilarious after, because like his haircut, like he literally does not have a hair on his head. And that's not a diss or anything. I'm sure there would be some hair on his head, but you know, he rocks a baldy. Like Dame Dash shaves his head.
What do you guys think he did with these 5 bills?
Dame Dash probably never touched it. The barber was probably the driver. He just took the whole took the whole 500.
The barber was probably the driver.
Right.
Honestly, I fuck with Adam. I don't think saying the amount was like
Tasteful?
super, yeah, and you might be like,
Is that
when
his
it comes to-
brand?
About times like right now.
No, because you know what? It makes Dame Dash look a certain type of way. I kind of get why Dame probably said that, or his people said that. It's like, yo, Dame one of those people, like, I know, like, you know, Vlad also, who does interviews, like, some people, like, they want to get paid, and it's not necessarily like, yo, pay me this amount. It's like, I want to know that you're willing to compensate me for my time, or at least my efforts or whatever. I think putting the monetary amount on there continues the narrative of Dame Dash ain't coming back to New York because he owed child support. Dame Dash owes hundreds of thousands of dollars in tolls. Dame Dash owes money to the IRS. Like the narrative of Dame Dash.
None of that's true.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. But the narrative of Dame Dash, and he speaks about it a lot in many interviews. The narrative that Dame Dash is broke or whatever. When it seems like you paid him $500. Again, I'm only talking for the ignorant person who watches shit. Oh, you paid him $500. That's what it takes to get Dame Dash to do an interview. $500.
Exactly.
He needed it. So I would have put that amount out, but I would probably be a little more tasteful with it. But
Yeah,
you know, it was interesting to know.
You're so tasteful, Ak.
I'm not tasteful at all.
I know. That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about?
Only reason why I know.
You ever pay for an interview?
Hell no.
I'm just asking, bro.
First, I don't even do interviews like that. Like, the only reason I'm saying that, Dame Dash, like, he's gonna respond to this, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a whole thing. I'm telling you, Dame Dash is one of them niggas, man. I'm telling you.
Dame Dash must be on the sticks or something. Like.
No. Because, like even yesterday, I seen he commented. He was like, "Yo," because I asked on my Instagram post, I said, "Was it worth it?" He said, "Yo, I made $10,000 off of it." Now,
Who made $10,000 off of what?
Adam said he made $10,000 off the interview.
How?
Oh, just monetizing and stuff like that, right? Here's the funny thing about it. Like, Dame Dash's whole, like, thing that he preaches is culture vultures and taking advantage. So now, if that's known, he paid you $500, he made $10,000. Dame Dash been going at Joey IE, Lear Cohen.
I worked for the real
half
Dame
of them
Dash.
niggas who he feels they're robbing and stealing from our culture. Like, he's one of those guys. So again, having this kind of out there, you almost set it up for like him to attack you. That's all I'm saying. And
Free promo. I'm sure he doesn't care.
I don't know, man. Lear Cohen ain't really trying to sit down with Dame Dash, nor is Joey IE anytime soon.
Right.
All right, guys. That is our show. Thank you for watching. We will see you here. What's today? Tuesday? We'll see you here Wednesday on Everyday Struggle.